Alright, stage 2 Revo is uploaded to the car. This is my first real drive putting my foot down, so see how it goes in first. Holy shit! Bloody hell! G'day guys and girls, welcome to another video. This one is Revo stage 2, 1 year review. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Pretty happy to be able to say that this is my first video that I'm making since reaching 1,000 subscribers. So I'd really like to welcome all of you new subscribers. I hope that you've caught up on some videos and enjoyed what you've seen so far. There's definitely more to come with my hobby and, you know, my time with this car. I have no plans of selling it and there's more to come. So thank you very much. Stick around and enjoy yourselves. So 1 year, dailying this car, Fiesta ST Mark 7 with Revo Stage 2. It's performed absolutely faultlessly. You cold start, you idle, you return to idle, everything's just as you'd expect and as it was before you got the remap. I've been able to take this car to Western Sydney Dragway, now Sydney Dragway, and I've also been able to take this to Luddenham Raceway, albeit on a wet day, much like today. And I can tell you that the difference between this and the Mountune MP215 is just, it's amazing how much more you can squeeze out and where you can squeeze it out of the rev range with the Stage 2 remap. Obviously first and second, the torque limiters are removed and you get a lot more go off the line. And that showed at Sydney Dragway. I'll overlay some footage. So that resulted in like a 2.1 60-foot time, which for a front-wheel drive car, coldish semi-slicks, and that wasn't a bad effort. And I can't drive, I don't claim I can drive. So that's where you will see your main gains is first and second. But then from 2,500 RPM up, there's just a mountain of torque in every single gear. For a 1.6 litre with a really small turbo, it's just amazing what it does. It shouldn't do it. Driving the car, even just to work and back, even if you don't have a spirited drive, the car feels alive. It feels more responsive. It just feels like it wants to go and it wants you to push it a little bit. And it all adds to the direct steering experience, the slight bumpiness. It just makes it feel like you're in a fun little car all the time. And as much as I enjoyed the MP215 kit, which I had from new and had 5 years warranty with from Ford, this has just woken it up a little bit more, and you just enjoy your drive all the time. I've had exciting cars before, and I've had some that are a bit boring. A 2011 Corolla, nothing special. But even my XR6 Turbo FG Falcon, although it had the power and torque in a straight line, I just didn't like the responsiveness and how the car felt. And you know, this is a great all-round little package now, pushing 240, 250 horsepower, so not a whole lot of power, but you can just enjoy it every single time you get in. And that's what I really like about this car and why I've kept it for so long as a daily. And I'm really happy with my choice of Revo Stage 2 because it just gives it that little bit extra, that extra feeling of sportiness, and it is actually quite quick. as you would have seen in the overlaid footage, Revo did advertise at the time 13.9 second quarter mile times, and I ran a 14.0, which is pretty close. So I was happy with that for an amateur driver. You know, the car performs as it should. It's not like you're seeing an advertised figure and then it doesn't pull up on track and it doesn't do the times it should do for the advertised power. This is on a 97 RON octane map as well, because our fuel in Australia is pretty average. So even though I run 98 fuel, to still run a 14.0 is, I was really happy with that. I didn't think I could do any better on the day, so pretty stoked. Just turn the camera around. I'll just give you a quick idea of the torque available from low down. This is from about 6,200 RPM, just over 60 kilometers an hour, going up to 80 kilometers an hour in fourth gear. So 2,500, and it really starts to pull. And sometimes I don't have an LSD in this. Sometimes it'll just spin the wheels in fourth as that torque starts to come on strong. An LSD would do absolute wonders if you've got any sort of stage 2 powered car. I think it's definitely a must, and it's on my list. But Revo, I mean, you can manage it with throttle response for the most part. Very hard when it's wet, but that's basically front wheel drives in a nutshell, isn't it? It's very responsive on the throttle. Quite a bit of torque steer. Very, very responsive. Once you get it over 3,000, if you're on a track day, you've got no problems putting your foot down and the power's just there. Not much of an exciting point to make when you're discussing stage 2 remaps, but just cruising along, it's very, very smooth underfoot. So although it's responsive to what you are doing with the pedal, it's not jerky, it's not like it misses and then it kicks in or anything like that. It's very refined. The cruising part of the map, I don't know whether Revo do anything with it or not from standard, but the response is very smooth, very much like a standard car, so you're not going to notice anything until you put your foot down a bit more. So even just now, I've just coasted down a hill, and then that transition back onto the pedal to come back up the hill, it's as smooth as you'd want it to be. It's absolutely brilliant. Another neat little feature with Revo is their SPS switch. Now this is just a little unit, I'll put a picture up, that plugs into your OBD2 port, and depending on which setting you can have it as an immobilizer. I think you can have a valet mode. And you can have performance A and performance B. So if you, like me, have the performance, I think it's the B map, and it's at 97 RON fuel, if you set it to that and plug it in, it'll beep, and that's the map that will be accessed by the ECU. Now if you find yourself out in an area where 98 RON fuel isn't available, and like if I'm in the country and they only have 95, then you can actually set it to the lesser performance map and plug it in, and it'll beep, and it'll actually make it safe to run that fuel, so that you're not using fuel that's a lesser quality than what the map is expecting, which is a cool little safety feature. Unfortunately, it is an extra cost. I do wish that came with the remap, but it's there, you can buy it, and you usually get a little card with it as well that'll say which number. It's just a little dial with like 0 to 5, I think. You just click it to whichever number you want, and the card will tell you which number has which setting on it. So it's pretty neat. I don't have one. I've thought about getting one, but I've never been in a situation yet where I've needed to change the fuel map. I've never been in a situation where I thought, oh, I better put an immobiliser on it. So it's there if you need it. Daily driving, the thing that you're going to notice the most if you upgrade from a stage 1 or even a standard car to the Revo stage 2 is the throttle response. You don't have to press the throttle down anywhere near as far to be able to get the same power and torque delivery. So that's increased. You only need to really feather the throttle when you're just cruising along like I am now. Otherwise you will start to accelerate. And that can lead to maybe your miles per gallon and kilometres per 100. Bit of a reduction until you get used to it, but it's a small price to pay. It's not much. Mine, since having the Revo Stage 2, is still doing 7.2 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's inclusive of a night at the Sydney Dragway and a track day. So all in all, I don't notice a whole lot of difference in my mileage. Another important thing to really remember when you're going to get a remap is the support. How much do the company know about their product, and how much are they willing to support you if something goes wrong? Now, not that anything went wrong, it was a hardware issue on my behalf, and when I fixed it, the tune sorted itself. But Revo Australia were really good, and even Revo UK were very responsive in helping me troubleshoot via Messenger and whatnot. So I've got a lot of respect for Revo. They do what they can to help in a quicker time frame as they possibly can, which I was really impressed with, and it just makes you feel a bit more comfortable knowing that if something goes wrong in future, not that I expect it will, that I can reach out to them and not be ignored, or not sort of be fobbed off as it's just a user error or something like that. So I'm very impressed with Revo and how they've dealt with things and how they've treated me as a customer. The other thing that's really good about Revo, and a bit more peace of mind, is their development program. Now that's a worldwide program. They've actually got dealers all over the world. So here in Australia, all over Europe, quite a few throughout Asia as well. So they get feedback from all of those dealers and the logs and data from all of them. They know what fuel is available where, so that the dealers can best match the fuel map. And yeah, just things like that, so that you know that you're not buying something that's developed in a colder climate, but you're buying something in a hotter climate, and maybe it's not performing as expected or something like that. And with their Revo Stage 2, there's 2 performance modes. So there's performance A and B. One is 95, 96 RON fuel, if that's all that's available in your area. And the other one, the other performance mode, has 97, 98 and 99 RON fuel. So if you're lucky enough to have good quality 99 RON fuel, then that's the map that your dealer can select, and you can get literally the most out of it. For me, like I said before, in Australia, the fuel's not fantastic. I run 98 fuel, BP Ultimate, but they've selected a 97 RON fuel map. So again, peace of mind. They know what they're looking at. They know what their development is, and their development's done over thousands and thousands of miles per car. And if you follow them on socials, you'll see that they buy a car and then they'll develop. Aussie road's falling apart. They'll develop all the software and they'll test it over thousands of miles, over dyno runs, all sorts of conditions, and you just know that it's been refined. So you do get your value for money with Revo quite good, and it's, I keep saying it, but it's good peace of mind. It's a good quality remap, and it's not all in down low, where especially something like LSPI is starting to become more common. or more commonly talked about at least. You can put your foot down in fourth from 2,200 RPM, and it just goes, and then from 2,500 to 3, it actually really comes on song, and it just pulls right the way through to 6,800-ish, and the rev limit is increased to 7,000 RPM should you wish to use it. Briefly mentioned the price before and how most companies are around the same ballpark. For me, it would have been just under $1,000. I think it was $998 Australian dollar it is. And because I'd purchased the MP215 map with the car brand new, and I had the receipt with my name on it, Revo actually honoured a 25% discount. So I think I paid $748 for mine. You probably have to check out your local Revo dealer, because I know that they did do a price review recently at the start of 2022 on a bunch of their remaps and gearbox software. So check that out. But what I will say is, if you've already paid for Revo Stage 1 and your name's on the receipt, you get an even bigger discount. I think it's up to 70%. You'll get a discount if you then apply the necessary hardware and then go up to their Stage 2. So that's pretty decent going. 70% off is just a few $100s really that you'd end up paying. Thanks for watching the video as always. That wraps up my 1-year review of Revo. I will say it is massively underrated. I know that a lot of the other companies do get a lot of the publicity and a lot of the shares and recommendations, but I can't recommend Revo enough for an all-round package, and the performance that you get, it suited me absolutely perfectly. So don't rule it out. Definitely try and drive some cars as I did. I was able to drive a Revo car, Puma Speed, power on the early LED performance software, and I was able to do that, and I picked Revo for a bunch of reasons, and you can go back and see those reasons in previous videos. But go and talk to a dealer, talk to Revo directly. If you've got any technical questions, ask them. If you want to just have a chat, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and get involved in my hobby with me. Cheers for watching.